is a Cosmic Octave original podcast.
Me and Jake running down the street with a handful of comic books, kicking ass and banging chicks and drinking booze
No, not
and
me.
smoking
Not
weed.
me. I'm
Oh,
married.
Yeah, well,
I'm married.
Jake.
Can't do that.
Yeah. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.
Girl.
It's a special day in America.
Super Bowl Sunday.
Can we say Super Bowl?
Oh, shit. You're right. Big game Sunday. Don't sue. Congratulations to the team from Philadelphia or the team from
I think we can
Kansas
say
City.
Eagles and Chiefs and stuff. I think.
Yeah, but whoever won that game. By the time you hear this, the game will have been
True.
decided. We're recording this.
But
on that
just
Sunday.
for shits and giggles, because it's Sunday morning or afternoon, 2:00. Just for shits and giggles, my prediction. See, this game is hard to predict, so I'm just gonna say that I'm rooting for the Chiefs. How about that?
Okay.
Because I really hate the Eagles, but I think the game is so evenly matched.
I'm going to say
in
this.
Almost
I'm going to
every
say this.
aspect. Yeah.
Jake Williams clearly predicted, and then I'm going to put in whoever won. I'm just going to say
Fucking
Eagles Chiefs.
dildo.
Anyway, welcome to episode number 82.
I'm Tyler.
Off panel, off topic. I'm Jake. That's Tyler.
He hates that.
Well, they've seen who we are, I think, when the little animated things
I don't know.
that I do, like the little guys.
Just want to make sure that you put the face to the voice.
Wow.
The voice to the face.
Anyway, tonight, this afternoon, whatever you're listening to this, I guess.
Well, it's always on the TV schedule at 5:30, but the game never starts until like 7:03 or some shit.
Oh, it's not that.
It's pregame shit and all that. I mean, there's pregame shit right now. If we turn on the TV,
I'm excited because we're going to see a trailer for The Flash.
Cool. And we got wings, and somebody made some insane brownies.
We should do.
And I'm not talking about the fun.
We should
brownies.
actually come back
It sounds like I'm talking about the fun
after the
brownies.
Super Bowl and record a reaction to the Flash trailer
Sure.
or something like
Yeah, we can do that.
to that effect. Well,
I'm willing to bet that after the Super Bowl there'll be more than one trailer. I'll bet you. Don't you think?
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
We gotta
Anyway.
talk off line about how we're doing Quantumania also.
Well,
later.
yeah, we'll have to figure that out for
We'll
next
figure
week,
that out
because we
later.
definitely are going to review that.
That's
for
not
the show.
for you guys.
Anyway, yeah, we got a lot of interesting things to talk about because Tyler and I were having a conversation about the show, and we thought that we've kind of gotten more focused on movie news and streaming stuff, that we kind of stopped talking about comic books. And while we do it in the long box and things like that,
Yeah.
we want to have more longer form discussions about comic books. So we'll talk about that later in the show. We're still going to do news and things like that, but we might, like the first couple episodes, I think the first 2 episodes, we reviewed 2 comic books. And
the long box originally was going
supposed
to be
like a
comic book that we liked, but
So-
I had to stop going to the comic book shop for a while because I just couldn't afford
Yeah.
it, or I didn't have the time, whatever.
And
that's when it morphed into kind of like, hey, I like this show.
Yeah. And
I like
yeah,
this
and I
movie.
wanted to get back to that too, because I was just thinking about that. If we don't talk enough about comic books, so we'll get on panel
Whoa.
later in this episode.
Brilliant. That's fucking trademark, by the way.
First, we do have to talk about some movie news. So I have seen that last week, I think it was last Monday, was the premiere for Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I have not read
Quantumania.
anything about it, and I'm kind of trying to keep myself spoiled.
Well, these are not actual reviews because
I'm sure. I know.
these are just what the studio allowed them to tweet
Sure.
about.
Yeah. No, I know how it works. I'm just saying.
Yeah, because now
I don't
there's
even want
an
an inkling of anything. You know what I mean?
It's so funny where we are now because now there's a social media embargo and then the actual review embargo, which is just funny to me. But
No, but I'm glad they have those.
no,
so
I
that
am too. So
they
people
can
don't
allow
fucking
us-
spoil it in a tweet.
Right. You fucking you're just scrolling through and like, what do you mean he's fucking Luke Skywalker's father? That's a bunch of bullshit.
Oh yeah. So it's been kind of mixed, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. First of all, I'd like to say that we're both, you and I are both pretty excited to see it.
I can't wait for the Lego set to come out.
It looks
A Kang minifigure, dude. Oh,
it looks interesting because it is, I think, one of the more I think I've seen some reactions say that this is a return to form for Marvel in a sense that I think that the experimentation of Phase 4 is going to be going away, and now we're going to get something that's a little bit more to the tune of Marvel. But I've also seen that it's like really trippy and psychedelic and out there for
one thing.
Ant-Man movie.
One thing that Peyton Reed was saying a lot through the process leading up to all this was that he was fine with the first two movies being known as kind of palate cleansers because they were. But he wanted to make a movie with real stakes. Mm-hmm. So it's the most, Avengers-like movie of the Ant-Man trilogy. It's the one that's most closely tied to the Avengers and stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's got real stakes for everything as a whole. And that makes sense. Like, listen, when you think about it, in the MCU, Scott Lang is one of the bigger heroes because he's largely responsible for bringing everybody back for the idea and everything. I mean, he was a huge part of that. And it looks like in the trailers that he kind of gets full of himself a little bit, and who wouldn't? But I have no idea past that, and I don't want to know anything.
Which is kind of weird. It seems like it's a different arc for Scott, which kind of seems out of nowhere because he kind of seems like the plucky Paul Rudd type in every time we've seen him in both the Ant-Man movies and the Avengers movies.
Right.
And even by the end of Endgame, he's still like plucky Scott Lang. So I don't know why they make this kind of change. I'm sure they'll explain it in the movie.
Well, I would explain it like this. He has decided to grow up. You ever seen Major League 2?
No.
You've never seen Major League 2 with Charlie Sheen?
No.
Okay. Well, in Major League 1...
There's only one Major League movie.
Sure. In Major League 1, he becomes the Wild Thing, right? And that helps him pitch and da-da-da, and they do whatever and blah, blah, blah. In Major League 2, we see that he has let success get to his head. He's living in a townhouse apartment. He's got a real swanky-ass fiance, dresses in real nice clothes, and... all the stuff, showing the trappings of his wealth, right? Mm. Being that elite athlete.
Because he's one of the few surviving Avengers?
No. But he's not that guy.
But what I'm saying...
Hang on, he's not that guy, but it's easy to see why he got swept up in it, right?
Yeah.
Now, after everything that happened in Endgame and stuff, and all the other shit, by the time we see Scott Lang again, I'm wagering to bet that it's been a year or two since Endgame, in real time and in the MCU. And I'm willing to bet that by that time, he has allowed himself to get comfortable with the way things are, despite all the turmoil of those 5 years, or whatever it was for him, right? Mm-hmm. And bring everybody back. And he's kind of like, I deserve to enjoy this. And I'm willing to bet that's why he seems like that, and it seems like a perfectly reasonable arc to me. Mm-hmm. So get out of here with your out of nowhere.
Okay, well, they're gonna. I'm just saying they got to do a lot of explanation for that.
I get all upset.
But
I
even
just
then,
gave it to you. God damn.
But even then, they still just based on the trailer, there's still the element of what he is doing is relatable. He's trying to get more time with his daughter because he lost 5 years of his daughter's life.
Sure, he's still the same guy.
He lost time in prison, and then he lost time when he got sucked into the quantum realm.
Still the same guy. He just gets sucked into the trappings.
Hollywood Reporter has a few of the first reactions. Mm-hmm. This is from Eric Davis. Mm-hmm. It says Phase 5 has begun. All caps. Yeah. The new Ant-Man movie is like a psychedelic roller coaster full of frightening and hilarious oddities, plus one very menacing Kang. Big Star Wars vibes meet the MCU. Star Wars is all caps. At its freakiest and most innovative. MODOK is a riot, but Jonathan Majors conquers. Love the ride. So that's good. It's exciting. Tyler, I'm going to read one of each. I'm going to read one of each. I want to read one of each here. Okay. Stop with the fucking mic, dude. I don't know. I give you a goddamn mic cover. You've been talking about it for weeks. Get it for? You son of a bitch.
Put it from under.
Here's a negative review. Hashtag Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania has way too much going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough to connect emotionally to any of it. Jonathan Majors Kang is a charismatic, intense baddie and visually awesome, but the threat he represents is too abstract. Sean Keane of CNET.
I guess you don't read comic books.
Here's what I'm trying to get at. I don't fucking care. I did this segment as kind of a joke to be like, while I understand, I do think we should have critics, and I do think we should have publications seeing movies to give people their honest opinions of what they expected. So if people don't want to spend money on things that
I think critics are necessary, but I would really
Yes.
love to interview like a shitload of critics and just be like, why do you do what you do? And see how many of them say, I want to influence who goes to what movies.
you want people to see good movies. It is what I would think.
If they
is a
say
critic
that,
says.
that's a different thing. Like I want people to see good movies. I don't want
But the
people
problem
to waste.
is it's
But
too
I'll
abstract.
I'll bet you there's a lot of people out there who are like, I just want to influence who goes to what. And fuck you, then. I don't need your criticism. I don't, because your criticism is not valid. You already walk into the movie with a bias.
Sure.
I want an unbiased opinion, and if that's his unbiased opinion, I honestly got to say it. You probably don't read comic books. Wait a second. There's too much going on. I don't know. I know that in reading comic books has allowed me to understand all sorts of fucking hanging threads and shit.
Well, and my thing is,
I don't know.
I've gotten to a point is I think no, I don't think there's any. I think I sound like Woody, I sound like Woody Allen.
But his criticism is valid because it's his.
No, and that's what I'm
not
saying.
Trying to tear down his criticism.
I don't think critics don't have a place or not important.
No, I think they're
do
important
it's
too. Yeah.
important to have an honest review of something and to say, because then I would say what we do is pointless, and it kind of is. But we do reviews.
Whoops.
I like doing reviews.
Shit.
I like
We found
seeing a
this
movie and critically talking about it and having an eye for it. And I'll admit, and I've said it multiple times on the show, like you said, I have a bias. I'm going to be softer on these movies than I probably if they were something else because I love it so much. Now, am I not going to criticize? If I don't like Quantumania, I'll tell you. Ask Tyler. He's heard a lot about how I don't like Eternals.
Dude,
he's heard a lot about how I hate that second Thor movie.
Hang on a second. Do you remember? I don't know if you remember it all, but we were doing the show when Eternals came out.
Yes.
And we both watched. I think we watched it separately.
Yes.
But we both watched it, and then we, got together for the review or whatever. And I thought that I really thought that I liked it. And as we did the review, I realized, and I think you thought you liked it too, but as we went through the review,
about it, the less
we
we
realized we were like, you know what? This movie sucked.
But you still like it because you read the Kirby stuff.
I've made it clear before this, and I'll make it clear again. I still kind of liked Daredevil and Green Lantern because it was fucking Daredevil and Green Lantern on the big screen. I mean, yeah, I wasn't very happy with Thor 2. To be honest, the more time that goes past, I'm not super happy or super jazzed about Thor 4.
My point is that it's all just a hype train.
Yeah,
is
of
really all
course.
it is. And I don't believe that these studios pay for positive reviews. I don't buy that.
No.
But
there's
I
bots
think
and shit.
it's harder to be critical of something when you're wined and dined. When you see a lot of these really and look, no hate. If I got an opportunity to go them, I would go.
That's what I'm saying. Hey,
it would be cool to hang out, talk to James Gunn and ask him questions about the DCU.
I'm up for a background check, if that's what's necessary for us to get in there.
But at the same time, I think it's hard to look at these reactions and really get an opinion on the movie because one, we have this new embargo system, which you and I have talked about, which I think is good in a sense. But we have an embargo system of here is the social media embargo. You can tweet about it. You can tweet about these things that are not, spoilery. Which I, as someone who wants to see the movie, I'm cool with that. I'm totally fine with. But it's kind of pointless to tweet about it after you've seen it, other than wow, whoa. That's all you can really
Star
say.
Wars.
And then
let me ask you a question.
And then you have to wait another week or so for an actual nuanced opinion on it.
Let me ask you
know
a
what
question because I'm a big fan of the comic What If, so I like asking a lot of what if questions. So here's a what if for you, okay? An either or rather, okay. Now, would you rather if somebody came to us and said, "Here's two options. Your first option is you can write and produce and film and they'll promote and release whatever project in the MCU you want. But, they'll promote it and market it and stuff. But if it's not good, if people don't like it, you're through.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, of course, if it does well, you can do more MCU shit, whatever. Or, for the rest of our lives, we have VIP journalism seats to every premiere, every comic book premiere.
Yeah.
For the rest of our lives, no matter what we do. Even if we show up drunk and fart for 5 minutes in front of the actors, they can't kick us out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the one is a way more reward, but the risk is greater. The other one has no risk.
Yeah.
But the reward is After about 10 of those, I might get sick of James Gunn.
I think.
Oh, right, it's Kevin Feige again. What's up, Kevin? Jesus Christ.
Look, I'm not accusing anybody of seeing this movie or anybody going to a premiere.
No, but which one would you
seeing
take?
a movie? I don't know.
I would take the project.
You lost me. But it would definitely be the project for sure. But what I was trying to get at is, this is the thing that I don't know. It's just hard to have a nuanced opinion on a movie right away. But you want to talk about it because you have to, because it's a fucking Marvel movie. It's a big movie. You have to talk about it.
It's a feckin' Marvel movie.
But then it starts this whole thing of like divided and it's mixed. Where I just gave you an example. I went to the Hollywood Reporter. I think these articles are both published around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I go to the Hollywood Reporter, mostly just positive stuff. Then I go to the Wrap, and it's like, oh, it's got mixed reactions, and it says mostly negative stuff. And I'm like, this is all it's doing, is they're all just cycling in and out. And then...
So, in the grand scheme of things,
and
sorry
again,
to say, critics really don't mean anything.
No, that is not...
what?
No.
Oh,
I'm just...
That's what I'm taking from this. Whoops. That's the sound of a million critics
then you
firing up their laptops.
Tyler.
Oh, really?
Tyler.
Motherfucker.
Tyler, only if you can admit to me that we are not critics, and
we totally are.
Because we do reviews.
The only reason
a hypocrite.
I was gonna say the only reason
I went Dracula on you.
I was gonna say right.
Hypocrite.
The only reason I don't consider ourselves critics, this is what I was gonna say, is because we also create things. But you don't think fucking Roger Ebert wrote a shitload of screenplays?
Yeah, that's stupid.
I made a bunch of screenplays. Well, yeah, that's good, Roger.
No, I'm just saying that, like...
You know what I mean? Like, we're the same. We're still critics. Just because we produce content doesn't mean we're fucking not critics. We do produce fun content, though. Stay tuned for On Panel, On Topic. Coming up later on in the show. That's called a tease.
No, all I'm saying is, like, it's not even the critics themselves or anything. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying I just hate social media is really what it is.
Yeah, me too.
Because I'll segue into this other topic that I forgot to mention to you that I want to talk about. Because for the last few days, there's been rumors all over Twitter, all over the sections of Twitter that I'm in, the comic book and, like, nerdy shit, video games, all that. Was ablaze because there was a rumor that a former Batman was going to return. That's not Keaton or Affleck. That was going to return in The Flash and now be the DCU Batman. And then it went from that, so it would have been Val Kilmer, Christian Bale, or George Clooney. Val Kilmer obviously isn't going to do it.
He's too old anyway.
Well, he can't speak.
No, I know.
He can barely speak.
I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah. And then... you've got George Clooney and Christian Bale. Guess who they really latched onto? I actually, a friend of the show, I talked to Luke. He saw Christian Bale rumors, but the ones that I saw the most of were fucking George Clooney. And
why would he do any of that?
And people were losing their fucking minds over the possibility of a George Clooney Batman coming back with, by the way, nobody at DC mentioning any of this.
No,
and it all started.
Affleck.
It all started because of these fucking scoopers. These
Fart Cooper.
These YouTubers that keep trying to get all these sources and inside sources and scoops that
yeah, we don't try to get scoops.
They do shit like this again, much like what I was talking about with the early reactions to a movie with the tweets. It's like,
right,
you got to spin those clicks,
spin them,
and get that narrative going.
You got to get that.
So the last 2 days, people are losing their fucking minds over Clooney coming back as Batman, and I'm just sitting here like, And I tweeted it. I go, this is why I equally love and hate this site. Because nobody said specifically that George Clooney was going to be that Batman, to where James Gunn finally had to step in and say that's ludicrous. It's going to be a new actor. It's not going to be George Clooney.
Hey, so let's talk about George Clooney a little bit. He did a little movie called Syriana. And in it, there's a torture scene where he actually fell backwards and like cracked his head and like had like spinal issues and like and there's eventually he got surgery and corrective and everything, but he has said before that he was suicidal because of the pain. And so I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, not knowing George Clooney, he ain't doing any fucking stunts anymore, dude.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would he? He's married and has kids now.
Why would he want to do that?
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Not because he couldn't do it. I mean, he's largely considered the worst of the on-screen Batmans. I've never seen Batman and Robin, so I don't know.
I honestly don't think he's terrible in that movie.
I've never seen Batman and Robin, so I don't know.
But it's not a good movie.
I was kind of opening the door for you.
Do you want to see it? Do you want to see it with me? I'll watch it with you.
Don't you? We've talked so many times about us doing a commentary on that because you wanted to do it because I've never seen it.
Yeah.
The first time I've seen it.
Yeah. Well, you're never going to see it.
You wanted to help me pop my cherry.
You're never going to see it.
Well, I'm going to watch it when I get home then.
But no, that is a great encapsulation of like why I equally love and hate Twitter because nobody said anything about George Clooney. They just had a picture with those three up, and then people just by power of deduction were like, well, Christian Bale's not going to come back because he said how much he hated doing it or whatever. I don't remember seeing that, but whatever.
No, but
why would he go back? That was the first time.
Have you seen him talk about Thor 4?
Yeah.
He's talked about like it was fun and everything, but I wouldn't do it again.
Well,
I mean,
I'm pretty sure
I've done
the Batman movies are the only ones where he's come back to a character multiple times. That's the only time he's ever done something like that.
He's never been that type of actor who wants to do
he wants to do something else.
Absolutely.
He always likes to do the new thing.
So the idea of him maybe coming back in a cameo in Flash is not beyond the pale. As a cameo, like, hey, there's Bruce Wayne or something,
Yeah.
But nothing more than that. He's not going to put that damn fucking suit on. Do you know how irritating that suit is to wear? I know it looks cool, but try putting it on, man. Jesus. Yeah. We're talking super glued to your taint. You know what I'm saying?
We've all been there, buddy.
Hey, listen.
Who
hasn't super glued some to their taint?
You're not a rock star until you super glued your taint. Oh, that's a song.
You're not a rock star until you super glued your taint.
Yeah. And
You're
also,
not a rock star till you
another reason they were suggesting that is because they're like, well, you need an older Bruce because it's going to be Damian.
And
I'm like, shut up. That was my response to you. Look. By the way, Damian, and in the I'm sorry, I didn't mean to blow out the mics there.
Jesus.
In the comics, he's like 10 years old. You could still believably have a Batman in his mid 30s, and you don't
with a 10-year-old
with a 10-year-old kid.
Yes,
it could work. It could be a thing, and that's even better. He was in his mid-20s. He was fooling around with Talia. One thing led to another. He didn't even know about it. Like, there's so many ways you can go about it. You don't have to get an older Batman to do that.
Despite the fact, well, audiences are largely stupid.
Unless you age up Damian, and I don't think they will.
Audiences are largely stupid. What's her name? Marissa Tomei was not that much older than Andrew Garfield. So even though she was Aunt May. Yeah, but she was supposed to be, senior or whatever. So.
Andrew Garfield.
No, I'm sorry. I was thinking. I'm wrong. You know what? I don't know what I'm talking about. Every once in a while on this show, I start spouting off on some shit, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm talking about. No, but to be really honest, despite the fact that over the decades, the past couple of decades, it's more common for couples to wait till their later 20s and early 30s to start having kids.
Yeah.
That's not...
Yeah, my generation especially.
Sure, but that doesn't mean that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You don't think teen fucking pregnancies and shit happens? And I know Bruce didn't get a teen pregnant because...
you don't have to make him 40 or 50 years old.
Yes,
you don't have to make him that old. You
also,
can put him
I don't want to
believably.
see a fucking 10-year-old kid play. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do any of the young Teen Titans Avengers type shit. I don't care.
Well, Damian's whole gimmick is he's younger. So.
Yeah, he's Ra's al Ghul's grandson, right?
Talia and Bruce got it on.
Yeah, they did. Have you seen Talia?
I mean, they had chemistry.
Granted, she's a comic book character, but
You're.
well, if you really want to know, Marion Cotillard played it in The Dark Knight Rises. So, and she's really attractive. So there you go.
Yeah,
she was Talia al Ghul.
Didn't expect it. I was like, wait a minute. The child of Ra's al Ghul, because I thought they were gonna really take liberties and make Bane the son. And then
Marion Cotillard is a great actress. She's super, super good
also,
in anything that she's in, and she's really, really attractive.
Who would you like to see
Not that means anything.
As the brave and the bold
Grand.
Batman? Who would you like to see? The father Bruce in this role that James Gunn's this movie he's making.
Father Bruce. Oh, The Brave and the Bold is about Bruce and Damien.
Yes. We talked about this.
Yeah, I know. I don't care. No, who would I have like as a Batman?
Who would you want to be your Batman? Yeah, in that scenario.
Well, I don't think it could be Batfleck because there's no indication that you know what I mean. Like, it wouldn't work if they're trying to connect.
Yeah,
because
you're trying to restart it. Yeah,
the two.
They're trying to just be like that. This happened.
Are you talking about a previous Batman actor?
No, I'm just saying
in general,
and someone that you could see being this new Batman.
God, I don't know.
Yeah.
Shit.
John Hamm. No, he's too old. He's in his 40s, but I could still
he
see
could
him
pull
doing
off
it.
younger 40, late 30s.
He said he doesn't want to do comic books.
Okay, fine. Fuck
But
you.
no, but unless he got the role of Batman, and the dude's got the jaw for it. Come on,
He could.
he could be one sexy Bruce Wayne. Let me.
Here's
tell
the
you.
thing.
I'm in.
Here's the thing.
John
is
Hamm Batman.
One thing that Christian Bale did not do believably was play Bruce Wayne because he's such an intense actor that he can't reasonably pull off like. The irresponsible, drunk playboy, boozing it up and screwing around like he's supposed to in the movies, right? Like that's part of his secret identity is that there's no way Bruce Wayne is Batman because Bruce Wayne is a fucking fuck up. He's a drunk fuck up, He he just spends his time fucking around.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Well, no, but you know what I mean, right?
No, yeah, fuck Bruce Wayne.
But I've seen.
Have you lived in Gotham lately? Bruce Wayne,
John Hamm.
that bastard.
We know he can do drama because of Mad Men.
Yeah, John Hamm.
We know he can do comedy because he's done a bunch of it and he's great at it. So I think honestly he might be one of the best Batman because he can pull off that Bruce Wayne. What?
I take it back. John Hamm is Superman. Now that is what I would be into. All-Star Superman. Whoo-wee.
No, but I don't.
No, I agree, but he would be a better
Superman. I don't want to think of my Superman getting
what?
Just getting some serious play. I mean, you know what I mean? Superman's a one-woman guy, and he's got to be attractive. But John Hamm is sexy, Superman's got to be boyishly
You don't want to waste
cute.
those good looks on just one woman.
I think John Hamm is more of a rugged kind of sexy kind of,
Yeah.
God, he's sexy.
All right, moving on. Next topic.
Hang on a second. Let me think about John Hamm.
He should be a bigger star than he is, in my opinion. But
I hate to say it, but I really do enjoy those fucking Progressive commercials.
I know. Anyway,
mainly because I have a serious crush on Flo.
Let's move on to the next.
No, let's talk about John Hamm some more.
God, beautiful bastard.
God damn.
Oh, making me hot. All right, so Amazon.
Thank goodness you got these pop screens on here.
Per Variety.
Per
Variety.
Oh.
The Spider-Man Noir project is in the works at Amazon. Coming to Prime.
Why?
In this series, the comics follow a version of Peter Parker in the 1930s New York City. However, while the upcoming series features its own universe, the main character will not be Peter Parker. That's where I got upset. Because
is it Peter Parker in the comics?
It is in the comic. In the comics.
So Peter Parker is some sort of hard-boiled detective?
He's an investigative journalist.
Oh. But he's not a hard-boiled detective? Isn't that
Just
what Noir...
it's
I don't want to...
Look, I thought...
Explain it to me.
I got to reread it because it's been a while, you son of a bitch. I don't want to speak confidently on something I haven't read in a while.
We're at each other's throats, but we're so polite about it.
Anyway, I'm excited.
I don't want to tell you about something I don't...
Look, it kind of lost me when they said it's not going to be Peter Parker because now they're going to, I think, lean into the Spider-Verse shit.
Sure. What's wrong with that?
But if Sony would have just started doing this in the first place, you have a Spider-Verse. You can do so many spider characters, but yet you still want to make fucking Morbius and Kraven, who's a pacifist, who doesn't kill fucking animals. Good luck. Anyway, excuse me. However, I could have burped away from the mic, but I burped into the mic because fuck it. So
He's just going off.
the new report does not indicate who the central character might be. News of Spider-Man Noir follows shortly after Prime Video confirmed another Spider-Verse series, Silk Spider Society.
Stop it. Knock it off. Is there like a Madam Web and an El Muerto coming to? Fucking knock it off.
There is a Madam Web movie that's made.
I knock it off.
I knock it off.
I mean, knock it off.
You're not soaked?
No. Stop it. You guys are falling into that
We forgot to
fucking
use that
DC
now.
bullshit.
When we're hyped for something, we got to
What?
say I'm soaked.
Wow.
Remember?
No, I just watched that SNL skit with Pedro Pascal as the teacher.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh my God, we have to watch it after this. It's so.
But anyway,
He's like, I'm also gonna ban TikTok scam videos or whatever of faculty members. Fine, I don't want to talk about it then. No, listen.
No, I want to talk about Spider-Man Noir because this is losing me. Like I was really excited at first,
Right, well-
but the more I read about it, the less excited I got because they're not doing the story I thought they were going to do, which was the Peter Parker story. That's the comic book.
Now, are we exactly the same as those douchebags that we're railing against who
By
are
the-
like, that's not the way the comics go?
By the way, it's also live action. I don't know if I pointed that out, but it is
It's
live
fine.
action.
It's fine as long as it's black and white.
But yeah, we're not. I'm not saying
Don't
that
give me a color Spider-Man noir.
I don't have any problems with adaptations. I like adaptation.
Can we hold on a second? I don't want somebody accidentally taking what I just said. I don't want a Spider-Man noir that's in full color. I don't want that. That could have been heard way differently. Like I don't want to.
Jesus.
I don't want anybody taking that the wrong way.
You
So
don't
what
like
I meant
Miles
was
Morales?
I want it black and white instead of full color.
Yeah.
But I suppose if you wash out the colors like they do kind of like on Gotham or something, maybe.
Yeah.
I hang
But
a
I'm
purchase.
not. Look, like again, I'm not against adaptation. I'm just wondering what they're gonna do with this. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's not gonna be
you're right.
one for one. The
and
comic book
and
series.
that's kind of the point I was trying to make. Like we are often, railing against these guys who are like, "Well, I haven't seen anything about it yet, other than what I've read, and what I've read is terrible." Like, oh man, I don't want to be like that.
yeah, it's woke.
No, it's literally it's a character that I have no connection to whatsoever. I thought Nicolas Cage did a good job.
He's not even gonna be in Beyond the Spider-Verse
Why?
or Across the Spider-Verse or Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Who's Spider-Man Noir then?
I don't know. I don't think he plays a central role in the sequel. I'm sorry, Tyler. I didn't mean to give you that news.
Fuck you, Hollywood.
You are nothing but garbage, yeah. Nothing
Hollywood.
but garbage, guy, huh?
Yeah, that's
Holly woke.
whoa. No, but I am excited that they're branching out and doing something a little bit different and doing a character that people a lot more people are familiar with because of Into the Spider-Verse. But
Sure.
I'm excited for them to see, excited to do something different with this character.
Sure,
So,
sure.
although I would like to have seen the comic book that I read, I'm not, against adaptation.
Sure.
Last thing I wanted to talk about before we get on panel on topic
Whoa.
is AMC theaters pissing me off. So they introduced a new tier system essentially for their ticket pricing.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, it is value sightline seats, or what they're called. Those are the ones in the front row. So here we go. This is from the New York Times. Under the new system, the most common seats available, the standard sightline tickets, would be priced as traditional movie tickets, AMC said. If you're willing to crane your neck to see the screen, you'll be able to pay less to sit in the value sightline seats in the front row. Some accessible seating for people with disabilities will also be priced in the value tier, and to access the value tier prices, people must register with the AMC loyalty program, which includes one free membership tier.
So, way to make it harder to go to the movies again, you fucking idiots.
Elijah Wood.
I don't like having movie theaters. Let's kill them all. Here's a great idea. Let's make it fucking harder
Right.
for people to go to the movies.
How many times are we fed this thing every year that the theaters are dying and the theaters are losing money and this? And it's probably because of stupid shit like this.
There's 3 industries in this country that need to be let to fail. Okay? That's the auto industry. That's the fucking movie theater industry and the fucking airline industries, dude. All 3 of them need to be allowed to fucking fail. They're broken.
Yeah.
They cannot be fixed.
Well, and look, I'm somebody who
we're too far gone.
I'm somebody who benefited from MoviePass, which is I did get emails about that coming back.
If they make it,
look,
not super shitty or whatever, I
benefited
guess.
from things like MoviePass, but I think that's what started this kind of idea because since then you had this AMC always had the membership program, but when we first signed up for it, but it was just like shit like free popcorn or free large drink.
I have a Fandango account, which is cool because you put your movie on or you put your phone on airplane, and then like at the end of the movie you get like a.
But then after MoviePass started taking off,
or you collect points, yeah.
Then they started introducing their own subscription model, and it was like the value of it is
it's not
you
sustainable.
you could see 3 movies a week. It was like one of the values of it. And I'm like, who the fuck goes to the movie theater 3 times in 1 week?
I know some people, but not.
Yeah, but chances are they're probably
even if I had nothing to do with my
probably
life,
they're
I
single.
wouldn't go to 3 movies a week.
Probably they're single, or they don't
that-
have a kid or something like that, or something that they could just do like before.
By the end of February, you'd be looking at the real shitty movies because you have no other movies to go to, or you're watching movies multiple times.
Before we had our kid, it tapered off more and more, but we used to go when we like a little bit ago.
Well, you guys live right next to a theater too.
Well,
though.
when
that was really handy.
When I was in Lincoln, we would see movies on Thursdays for $5 because there were and these would be like brand new movies. Like I remember seeing Captain America for $5 and fucking reclined seating. Like this is awesome. Now we've gone from that to fucking value sightline.
You know what?
Shit.
Hang on a second. If you're living in Des Moines, I don't know if they still do this. Look it up. But if you're living in Des Moines, Cobblestone Theaters, okay, over on 86th, they used to have a Tuesday special where it was like for anybody. It was like $5 and like $2 popcorn and shit, and it's fucking crazy. It was great. By the way, is there anything better than fucking movie theater popcorn? I want some right now. Fuck.
Yeah. So the seats in the middle of the theater will become preferred sightline tickets. The extra cost of these tickets will be waived for members of AMC's top-tier loyalty program, the A-List. See, this is what I mean. You're gamifying the fucking theater.
So, you know how, like, have you ever heard of the Roman Empire? And you know how it, like, fell?
Yeah.
Okay, well, here's the thing, is for most
was
of
that was that a movie directed by... Oh, damn it. The TQITD thing didn't work.
Pew Pew Quip, Pew Pew Quip. I love that guy.
Pew pew quip, pew pew.
That's
quip.
how the Roman Empire fell. It was aliens. They came down and they were
No,
like,
they
hey!
Pew pew quip, pew pew. Quip.
No, they kept making wisecracks when they were fighting.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. No, but for most
Eat your ass.
for most of the Roman Empire, they were very good about social programs. And as the empire got closer and closer to its ultimate fall, a lot of the factors, one of the big factors that was involved in the fall was people moving outside of the Roman Empire because the social programs had stopped. They had the politicians had largely abandoned the democratic model that they had, and they had largely gone to like this model where they just fucking ripped off the government for everything they had. So there was no money left for anybody else. And that's exactly what's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is there are a lot of people in this country who have way more money than they ought to have. And they are unfortunately siding with the fuckers who have kept the man down, the man who has kept us down all these years.
Well, I gotta ask, is streaming really breathing down the neck of theaters that much? When you think about how Avatar hit $2 billion, hit what it was trying to do with $2 billion, you see things like that. Like, I'm sick of this narrative because I've been hearing this narrative for years that the theaters are dying and they're losing. movie theaters will almost always exist. Dude, we had fucking Nickelodeons back in the old West.
Sure,
Like we've
sure.
had this idea
But
for a long time. I don't
right.
think they're going
Okay.
anywhere, and I'm
Okay.
sick of using this idea
But
that
think-
streaming is breathing down their neck.
Think about it like this, though. Avatar, right? When did that come out? November or December?
December,
Okay. Now
like right
it's,
around Christmas.
it's February. And the end of February is when Quantumania comes out, right? Okay, so what you're telling theaters,
Next week.
what you're telling theaters essentially, and I am the person who said they ought to be they ought to be allowed to fail. Fuck them. No
Yeah,
more,
I don't
no
have
more
a-
fucking bailouts for this shit, or price increase. Fuck you. But what you're saying to theater owners, and they're beholden to shareholders just like everybody else, and we've talked about this, how it's not sustainable. You're telling me I got this movie in December, which might carry me to this one in late February.
Yeah,
And then I need one.
you're depending on it having legs.
Hopefully
yeah.
that late in February, because those are the only ones that really have legs these days. Those regular movies, I don't go to see them. I never really did anyway. But certainly now, and as somebody who loves these, adaptations and these comic book and all
Yeah.
these things, I love them. I do know that it's crowding a lot of stories that maybe are original stories
yeah.
out of the market.
and it's also
And that's sad.
okay. So while I do think in some capacity, look, I'm not denying that this streaming and COVID and the repercussions of that have hurt theaters, and people
Sure.
have lost their jobs, and that's shitty. That sucks.
Sure. But yeah, usually the
But
people on the bottom.
When you have to make layoffs, which I'm pretty sure didn't AMC lay off a bunch of people, and now you're introducing this plan. It's
some shithead on top who's trying to make money. He's trying to make profit every quarter on something
So,
that's not sustainable.
a map outlining.
Oh,
A map outlining seating options. You just brushed my finger. Outlining seating options will be available when buying tickets online through the company's app and at the box office, the company said. AMC did not specify what the price differences would be for each ticket or whether prices would be consistent across cities and films.
nope.
This is also written by the New York Times, so they're using the AMC that's on 34th Street location in Manhattan. Tickets were listed under the new pricing system for Friday's showing of films Magic Mike's The Last Dance, the 25th anniversary for Titanic. For the 6:45 p.m. showing of Magic Mike's Last Dance, the front row seats, a space for a person with a wheelchair, or a seat for the companion of someone in a wheelchair, were described as value sightline seats and colored blue on the seating map. Wow.
How much were they?
Let's see. The key to the give me the price, man.
That's what you said. That was the only one.
Yeah, but he said a key of the map explained that the value tickets were $2 off and that the preferred seats were $1 extra. Those are the 5 middle seats in each of the 4 back rows of the theater.
We don't live in New York, jackass. How much do tickets cost in New York?
He's
Oh.
just saying that the price differential. So that it's $2 off.
He's one of those New York elite, coastal elite journalists.
I'm trying to find the actual ticket price.
He's woke. I don't care that much. It's expensive, okay? It's expensive to go to
Oh,
movie
it's so
theaters.
much more expensive in New York than it would be. to
Oh,
watch
fuck
where we
yes,
watch
dude.
it, so
Dude, yeah.
It's like $20.
Oh, yeah,
probably.
easy. And that's like matinee.
Yeah.
We don't care anymore. Let's move on.
Anyway, say that AMC also said by the end of the year that new pricing system would be in place at all of the company's theaters in the United States. So that
By
means by the end of this year. So AMC has about 950 theaters and 10,500 screens worldwide. So yeah, that's a great example of, again, a company like
By
you
the end
said,
of the year,
you got it right.
They'll have half of those screens.
It's the same shit that Netflix is doing with their password
and
sharing.
HBO Max.
They reach a height, they like you said, and they get full of themselves, and they think we have this
Well, no, these
install
shareholders,
base.
they don't educate their shareholders because shareholders are fucking idiots with money. That's the only reason they're shareholders. It's because they have money to fucking give and have
Yeah.
these fucking things. They're stupid. They're not business people, and they're dumb. They're dumb.
And you know what else they're doing?
Crack cocaine.
Probably. I would be. Anyway.
If I had that money,
Oh
you'd be
my-
like, "Oh, I didn't do it."
I'll
but
eat your ass.
I totally for some crack. So you know. Okay, you ready? We're gonna play with the board. Okay, you know what I would do for some.
Crack cocaine.
I
Oh,
I'll eat your ass.
oh.
Wait,
I'll eat your ass.
foursome.
Crack cocaine.
Nice.
There you go.
No, but we've talked.
They have turned off the pod.
We've talked about. Yeah, sorry. We've talked about this many times. You get to a point, and then
It's not
these,
sustainable. Yeah.
right. These shareholders expect these profits, and when profits go to a certain height, they don't account for that for whatever reasons. Of anomalies.
Well, it's
so
what we
when
talked
it's really
about before,
high, when it's really high, they're like, sweet. When it dips even a little bit, they get pissed. And that's why we have shitty movies from shitty fucking studios, because they are too beholden to their. That's why HBO Max is canceling all this shit.
And that's why,
because they're trying like hell to keep their shareholders happy.
Because they're trying to make money. They're trying to get money back.
Fuck your shareholders, motherfucker. Okay, fuck them.
But it's like you said. There's only so many people in the world that can subscribe.
Long fuck, man. Woo.
That can subscribe to Disney Plus.
Right.
You know, you have a finite number of an install base.
Then you have to wait at least a week until Timmy turns 18 and gets his
and
own
then, and then you got
subscription.
Then you got to hope that after you've already given out like these free trial months, like you have something good enough to hook someone.
Sure.
And then get you to come back.
Have you
know
noticed
how
there's not a
HBO
lot
Max,
of trials anymore?
You know how HBO Max kept me a fucking subscriber even though I want to delete it, but I can't because The Last of Us. I've been watching that.
I know.
And I
Well, I got it back because of Avenue 5, but before that, I was
that
like,
got canceled, by the way. I hate to break it to you, but they did. It just went silent.
So just to make sure here, you canceled one of the best shows in all of television history, Deadwood, in the middle of with so many hanging threads, and then you think 20 years later, a fucking 2-hour movie featuring a cameo by a child diddler, by the way. I don't know why you had him in the fucking movie. Just, you know what? His character got killed in the time between the show and the
that's
movie.
all you had to do. Yeah, you could have easily.
Jeffrey Jones. Yeah. What the fuck? Why?
Yeah.
I mean, every actor in that scene was like, I can't believe I have to be in the scene with this guy. Anyway, you think that makes me okay? And then you turn around and just cancel something before it's done? I hope fucking Hulu picks it up, dude. I would love to see Hulu just shit all over HBO Max. Fuck HBO Max. I hope Hulu buys all the Adult Swim shit and buys all the Looney Tunes shit and says, you guys, when they walk out of those HBO Maxes, in the HBO Max offices with those IPs in hand, I want them to turn around and look at all those fucking fucksticks in that boardroom and just look at them and go, you don't deserve these. And just turn around and walk away.
And then you light up a pipe and
Crack cocaine.
Fuck yeah. And then there's an orgy in the boardroom because that's what they do.
I'll eat your ass.
Mm-hmm.
and then you
a lot of that.
And then you
Eat that beaver up. Wow. Oh, my Lord.
Love the
that's
guy,
you in the
yeah.
background.
No, but no, seriously, like HBO Max, you literally you don't deserve the IPs that you have because you suck. You suck and you're terrible with your. I mean, you are setting your entire goddamn studio, your entire company on the backs of a fucking a franchise created by a transphobe. You fucking morons. I mean, that's
So I'm taking it you're not
Harry
playing
Potter.
Hogwarts Legacy?
Harry Potter is our tent pole. Oh my God, really?
No, DC is now. It should have been. Anyway,
Yeah, we'll see.
AMC.
We'll see how much rope
we'll
they
see
give
how
James
this works
Gunn.
for AMC. But based on what I've seen unanimously on Twitter, people don't like it. People think it's stupid. I do too.
Yeah.
Even
'em.
Elijah Wood tweeted about it. An actor, just straight up said this was one of the most democratic places. It sounds a little like high-minded for this theater situation, but it's true.
Yeah,
that,
it is.
like you and I talked about, everybody pays the same price. We go in, you pick your seat beforehand.
First come, first serve, though.
But yeah, it's that idea of you get to the theater, you spend the same money as the guy next to you, you see the same movie, and you go about your day.
Dude,
and now it's different. Now it's like,
preferred
but I want to sit in the
seating
middle,
is-
so
look, I lived most of my life in theaters where it was you bought a ticket and then sat where you could.
yeah, now it's a norm to have preferred seating.
I love that shit. And dude, it is first come, first serve. I mean, it blacks it out. as soon as it's sold to somebody. You know what I mean?
It's still the same idea. Yeah.
Right, but that's cool. That's cool.
That's just
okay.
guaranteeing that you
Now,
have this spot.
Right, but okay. So do I want to go to like 9:45 or maybe tomorrow morning?
Do I want to go earlier
Right,
so I
right.
don't have to pay an extra $3 to sit in a site where I can
Right.
actually see when I can actually be centered with the fucking
Before we move
screen.
on to the on-panel, on-topic stuff, I just want to ask you a question. What was the name of the coach for Nebraska that got fired after like a 10-win season? That hubris that you guys showed. Do you remember? Was it Osborne?
I'm mouth full.
I know.
I'm
Was
gonna click
it Osborne?
What? No.
Solich?
Yeah, solid.
Okay. And how much that hubris cost your university as a brand, as a, just as in so many ways. You know it. Every fucking Nebraska fan knows it, right? I guarantee you the first 2 or 3 years of DC stuff from James Gunn is going to be fucking amazing. Even the shitty shit
Why
is
are
going
you
to be
still
better.
on Warner Brothers?
Hang
I'm
on
talking
a
about
second.
AMC.
Because it's going to be fucking amazing and critically lauded, commercially successful, all this shit. And you know what they're still going to do? They're going to fucking yank the plug out from them, dude. Garen fucking Teed.
No.
Yes, they will.
No.
Yes, because some dipshit in a boardroom is going to be like, I can do better than that. Just like some dipshit in a boardroom in Nebraska that year said, we can do better than 10 wins. No, you fucking can't.
Okay. Says the guy whose favorite team hasn't won a national championship.
Fuck my...
Yeah.
I don't care about my university.
No, you don't care about nothing.
I'm a nihilist. We cut off your Johnson. Get some Pannkuchen.
Nice.
Anyway,
So wait, so what do we think of the AMC pricing thing?
I think it's
You are nothing but garbage, yeah. Nothing but garbage, Gaina.
And I also...
and I look, I will not. I will make sure to go out of my way not to go to an AMC theater now.
Yeah.
Just because fuck you guys.
You know how I feel about it?
You want to do some more? You want to beat that beaver up? What do you want to do?
I think it's shit. What? You're like, which ones of these work?
Crack cocaine.
Sure, that's great.
But
It's Tarantino.
I could write a book about what you don't know.
That's the intro for On Panel on Topic.
Speaking about books.
Yeah, see? One more time, everybody. Comic books.
I could write a book about what you don't know.
So we started kind of talking offline. I had this great idea for a segment which wouldn't have really been that compelling. So we didn't end up doing it, but it came from an idea we've talked about for a couple years now of attempting to involve a local comic store. Like, hey, we'll mention you on the podcast for like one free book a week that we review. And my idea was to get a book that I wouldn't normally read, like an independent or a DC, something like that, right? No, I'm serious.
I know, it's just funny because you just really don't read DC.
I don't even look at DC because nothing interests me over
Which
there.
is funny because it's how we're different. Because I always read DC books because I actually like some variety. I don't like the same Marvel shit.
And we're also going to, on our first episode of On Panel on Topic.
Oh.
We're not only going to review a comic book, but we're also going to talk about how we consume comic books.
We're gonna eat them.
Mm-hmm. We're going to shred them down.
Live on air.
Shred them down. So the one I brought is Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants #1, and it is the second part in the Sins of Sinister crossover happening right now in the comic books. And what's going on in the comic books is it's basically an alternate future where Sinister has taken over everything in the as far as Krakoa and all that stuff goes. Now, for those of you who haven't read the book, first of all, it's a really good book. It kind of shows, it gives an idea. I didn't read Sins of Sinister Alpha, which is the first book in the crossover, but it's not that hard to pick it up. He illegally cloned Maura McTaggart, which from the Powers of X and House of X miniseries back in the day, a couple years ago, that was like the big thing, is that she had the mutant power to reset reality when she died.
Mm-hmm.
And so Sinister illegally cloned her because he's part of the Quiet Council in Krakoa. And they talk about the serpent they let in their garden and stuff because he's Krakoa is kind of strange because it's all villains and heroes living together.
Yeah, it's just all mutants.
It's as long as you're a mutant, exactly. So there's been some issues, of course, obviously.
Well, yeah. I mean,
but there's
Magneto's all about genocide.
there's a
I'm just kidding. He's all about mutants.
there's a resurrection protocol.
Well, Sinister's the only one obsessed with genocide. I'm just saying. Back to your
Are
story.
you done?
I'm done.
There's a resurrection.
So
There's a resurrection pool where no matter what happens, if you die,
yeah, they could just bring you.
right. And we talked about the I can't remember what Way of X, the miniseries where Nightcrawler was trying to start a religion,
Yeah.
which was fucking fascinating. By the way, who is it? Is it Hickman? That's doing all the.
Well, he started it.
But he started the Powers of
I think
X?
Dugan is doing X-Men now, but I'm not
But
sure.
Hickman started the Powers of X and House of X.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, he was the one who reset
He
the
started
status
it all
quo
on
for
this
the
stuff.
X-Men. Yeah,
That's really and Al Ewing, one of my fucking favorite writers. I'll read almost anything that guy writes. He's just really good. And then Paco Medina has the art. But this is basically the first part, and they're trying to steal they're trying to steal the final or the final Maura McTaggart like clone, and it's in this base and everything, and they go in and chaos ensues. I won't spoil it for you, but it's a pretty good book, and I can't keep up with all the X books. Every month it seems like there's 2 more. And they're all like, one things Marvel has done lately, the last like couple years, is they'll have like a series that's like 5 issues. They don't say it's a limited series, but it just is.
yeah.
5 issues and done, right? And then if it's popular enough, they'll make it an ongoing series. And with the X books, certainly the last couple years, every month it seems like there's 1 or 2 new, and you don't know if it's a one shot, you
Yeah.
don't know if it's a fucking new series, any of that shit. So to try to keep up with them, I honestly pick up an X book maybe maybe 2 or 3 times a year since the Powers of X and House of X, because there's been some interesting stuff that I want to read up about. But largely, this is a great way. This is a great starting point. I think it's only $4, which is pretty good. I'm sure
How many pages?
22. I'm sure. I'm sure the Sinister Alpha, Sins of Sinister Alpha, is probably more expensive, probably $5.99 because it's probably a W issue or whatever. But it's not a bad
beard
place.
is hitting your microphone.
It's not a bad place to start and to kind of be like, oh, okay, what's going on here? Because again, like they do in almost every issue of a Marvel comic now, there's a full page spread where they talk about who's doing the book and they give you an idea of what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Little bit of exposition.
It seems like a lot of
But I give it a B plus.
a B+.
The reason why is because again, it's been really hard keeping up with the X books.
What's the rating scale then?
or just A to F.
Okay.
But B plus, the only reason it doesn't make it to A is because it's really hard to keep up with the X books. Even though I said it's a good place to start. If you don't know anything about the X-Men or what's been going on the last couple of years, it's not. You're going to be like, what the fuck?
I vaguely know what's going on.
Because I've kind of told you. I mean, I'm sure you've read about it too.
Yeah, but
But I know I've told you a lot about it.
Yeah.
Because I've been, trying to keep up as much as I
dude,
can.
this is what's so funny.
But the story and the art are great. I have no complaints there. But yeah, that's the only reason it doesn't make it to an A is because it's really hard. The nice thing is the next couple months there's only 3 X books a month to buy.
See, but that's the thing. That's the difference between you and me. I consume comic books completely differently than you do because I've always been this way. I've tried to keep up monthly with certain books, and I did for a certain period. But I'm just not someone who stays monthly. I'm someone who likes to get the trade.
Yeah,
and have the arc, the story arc, whatever it is.
I'm like that too. Yeah,
but so.
Real quick before we get to your, I just want to tell you it's Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants, Nightcrawlers, and Immoral X-Men are the 3 books for the next 3 months that you have to get to follow this story. And again, I highly recommend it. But yeah, we did talk about consuming comic books, and we do. So sorry, continue, please.
Yeah, I eat mine. I already made that joke.
Shred.
But I mostly
Shred 'em
well
up,
for starters,
Put 'em in ranch like a salad.
it is that weird thing because there are plenty of people that buy books and keep them on a bookshelf. I'm someone who still, mostly reads digitally, but I still have a handful of books on my shelf.
There's
and
some that I think you buy because you're like, I really want to own that. I want to have it in my hands. Have it on my bookshelf.
When I actually I'm sure I can find one, but I kind of missed out on the Snyder. Like I read it a few times when I was trying to around the New 52 era is when I was really trying to read monthly because I'm like, oh, DC's doing a reset. They never do that. I was naive. You got to understand.
I loved how quickly they backed out of the New 52. It was like, whoa.
I came into comic books at a later time.
Yeah.
So I didn't have and I wasn't someone who was super, I only watched the cartoons, I only played video games, and so I never really read comics until I got older, and that was post Infinite Crisis on Infinite Earths and shit like that. So I didn't think that DC just reboots all the time. But I kind of missed out on it. I read it periodically when it was monthly, but
periodically.
I'll probably get an omnibus if I can find one. But I got the first 3 trades for Scott Snyder's run on Batman, and I got them used, so they were a little bit cheaper. And I want to reread it because it goes Court of Owls, City of Owls, and then Death of the Family, which is, by the way, one of the better Joker stories I've read in a while.
Oh, dude, yeah.
And I'm also at the same time. Well, this is why I had to stop, and I want to go back and start over reading that book because I just because I read most of my books digitally, right? So digitally right now on Comixology, they have The Last Night on Earth, which is
fucking awesome.
Which is Snyder's swan song for his Batman.
It's basically his old man Logan.
Pretty much, yeah. I've got about halfway through it. I kind of want to stop.
But it's
I kind of want to stop and start over because I want to go back and I want to read all of Snyder's run before I get to that. Because I feel like if I read all, and I'm probably going to skip Justice League. I mean, I'm sure it was Scott Snyder's Justice League because I know what fucking Dark Knight's Metal and Dark Multiverse. I know all about that stuff.
See, all of that looked really cool from afar, like the Batman who laughs and stuff.
Yeah, the fucking Joker dragon and all this shit.
That's neat that you went and kind of played with.
There's cool stuff, but I just don't care about.
But then
that.
after a while, I was like, okay, I'm done. How many more?
Yeah, it just didn't appeal to me. So. But I want to go back because I kind of missed out on it, and I want to reread his run. And so I got those 3 trades. But then, I started reading Last Night on Earth because it was available digitally, and then I had to stop me no, I feel like really I'm going to appreciate this more if I go back and read all of his run.
Yeah.
But here's the funny thing about how he consumed comic books. So I got those first 3 trades. I was going to read those, and then I realized because of Snyder's Comixology deal, a lot of his books are on Comixology Unlimited. So I could probably read his entire run digitally. So then I'm looking at those books. I'm like, I'm going to read them physically because I bought them.
Yeah.
But then I look at the tablet and I'm like, all of them are right there in front of me. I can just read them.
I think that's one of the bigger differences between your generation and mine.
Because I'm used to reading comics
more
digitally.
Specifically, you and me, is that I cannot read shit digitally. Now, hang on. Now, if I'm bored and sitting in my car having a smoke, I'll look up Minnesota Vikings news and I'll read those articles, right? But when I like to have a newspaper. When I walk into a doctor's office and there's a newspaper, I'm like, oh, sweet. I like to have the extra books, but what were we talking about that I'm having the problem with is the physical fucking space.
It takes up so much space.
Dude, you even if you get 2-3 books a week or maybe tops 8 books a month.
I think you're onto something. I think millennials and Gen Zers,
but the secondary comic book market is shit. So there's no reason to keep these.
Yeah, unless
honestly.
you have really important number ones.
I do have for a little while I was making some decent money, and whenever I went into Mayhem, they get 2 or 3 really special rare variants.
And I want to be clear. I think that physical comics should still have a place, and I think that local comic shops are important. I'm not saying that.
No, I'm just telling
saying,
you that they would have them in a shelf right when you go up and buy, and they had the Defenders that Al Ewing he made 2 series that I talked about, Defenders and then Defenders Beyond.
Yeah.
Which with Javier Rodriguez, which fucking amazing books. Go look them up. I'm sure there's trades already by now. But they had the Defenders #1 variant for like $15.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's way too much for a book, but dude, this might be one of only like 1,000 in the country,
and there's books that I have on my
those
shelf.
might be worth something.
I have books on my shelf that have no value, but they're there because like the book
But the secondary market sucks.
Yeah. But the book Chew, I went in and I got
nobody wants that.
I got an omnibus, but I got all of the trades because I want. Now, am I going to go back and read that book again? Maybe, maybe not, but that's just something that I wanted. So I think I'm someone that believes in two things. I think that the physical books or physical video games, physical movies, whatever, right behind you, I have a shelf with Blu-rays that could be meaningless because everything's digital.
Right.
But I think those physical things have a place because
I do too.
it is having that tactile feeling of like, this is, like you said, that ownership of it, that this is a book that I really enjoy and this is something that I like.
One movie that I can watch over and over and over again and not get tired of is Funny Farm with Chevy Chase. I know. You're like, what? But that is, for some reason, there's a lot of people who do not want that to be like one of those free movies you see on every streaming service, like Cheers, the TV show. That's on like
issues.
Well,
I'm sure.
right. I mean, but that's on like every streaming service almost.
Yeah.
I mean, Cheers, you'll find it, or news radio like that. But Funny Farm, like, I can't tell you how many times I'll look it up just to have something on while I'm doing something else, and I have to like pay a subscription. Or, like, I won't.
Yeah.
But I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Who the fuck is trying to make sure that people still make money off this movie?
It is another thing of just like that
But
constant.
if I owned that movie,
Yeah.
For years you couldn't find Christmas Vacation outside of November to like or like October to like January in stores, and they knew that, and they said, "Hey, wait a second, we're not going to sell it year round because then we're going to jack the fucking price up."
Yep.
I got smart about 20 years ago and bought a Blu-ray copy of it, or I suppose it was right when Blu-rays came out. But now you can find it, and it's not that expensive because everything's streaming. But
and that's the thing too. It's like everything's digital now, and it has its benefits in my opinion. Like another great example is on Comixology. They had the entire 37 issues of Irredeemable available, and I got to read that whole run.
Right.
And I think there's benefits to that. But I also think that I do think that you should, if you really, really like a book, I would consider going out and buying it physically, because I don't know, with maybe secondhand markets and things like that, but I feel like when you're buying it digitally, that's directly going to Marvel. That's directly going to DC. And we know they're not the best at paying their artists.
No.
So I would say maybe go to cons and stuff too, but I just feel
When's
like
the last time a con was here?
I don't know if that's true. I could be completely wrong.
We should go to.
I could be completely wrong, but buying it print to me feels like there's still money going to the artists, going to the creators.
If
so
WizardCon comes here again this year, we should go.
there's
and
a Des Moines Con this year.
We should go
in
and do.
July, I think.
We should see if they'll let us do a live show.
They won't.
Why not?
We don't make enough. We don't have enough people that care about us yet. That's on you fucks. Share it with your friends.
No.
I'm
I
just
mean,
kidding.
like, wait a second. Like, we couldn't go to them and be like, "Hey, do you care if we set up a
Yeah,
table?"
and they'd probably cost us.
Make us
We'll
pay?
talk about it off the show. Jesus. Yeah. So that's. I do want to try. We don't necessarily have to do this every week. I like the idea of having the news and then a shuffling topic. I know we were trying to do the Griff Report every week, but dude, I cannot watch that shit every week. I just can't. I was gonna do I was gonna do a video about.
You know what? We're not beholden to any fucking segments. All right, that's for fucking like boomers.
It's our show.
We're Gen Zers.
But I do want to talk more about comic books
soaked.
on the show.
What does that mean?
We're excited about something.
I'll eat your ass.
That's
Wow.
what I'm really excited about, a movie. Yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. We'll try and see that next weekend so we can get the review up next week.
Yeah, we'll figure that out offline. And
Which is the 31st Marvel Studios film. Can you believe
Jesus,
that?
really?
Yeah. It's been 10 plus years, bro.
I remember about 3 or 4 years ago, I got a bunch of money back from a 401k, and I was like, I'm gonna make sure I have every MCU movie on Blu-ray.
Yeah, they never
I had
go
most.
on sale.
Right. This was when they were $20. They don't go on sale, but they were $20 anyway. But I bought I bought the ones that I didn't have. I think it was like Captain America 1, Thor 2, Doctor Strange 1, and like I think Ant-Man 1 were like ones that I just never bought or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy them all. And then like a year later, it was like, you can just buy Disney Plus, dumb shit. Well, thanks, you fucks. But I like having those. Like I don't know. I like having them. Fuck you, man.
I think there's a benefit to.
I got this zit on my nose. It feels like I just cannot pick my nose.
I think that's when you compare that to everything. Like I think there's a benefit to streaming versus movie theaters, and I think there's a benefit to having Comixology or DC Universe Infinite or Marvel Unlimited, whatever that is.
Whatever.
That's the thing that annoys me now about the digital market is now there's also, well, you know, some DC books are on Comixology Unlimited, but if you want like the full fucking library of this character,
give us a fucking
you gotta spend
house.
You had to spend $10 a month for DC Universe Infinite. Which, by the way, if you want to sponsor the show, I take back everything I just said.
Right? No.
Remember when we were gonna do Jake Unlimited and trying to like. Jake and me doing a bunch of
we're
comics.
We're gonna try
I'll
and
bring
see
them
if
back on
we'll see if
topic.
Mayhem Comics is up for doing anything with us. I don't know why we're saying it on the air. That totally just nixes the deal right there. I think.
Well, because
we're talking about it. And like, well, you already. I don't know. But hey, you know what? Seriously though,
you can ask for a sponsorship, right?
Yeah, that's my comic book store though. That's where I go for comics. Is Mayhem Comics.
Tyler, do we have a long box?
No. Yes. Box.
Messed with your head, didn't I?
You're welcome. I just came up with that.
I don't have anything for my long box. Being alive is my long box.
What?
Crack cocaine.
Wow. We don't have to do a long box. No, I want to save mine for next week because I'd rather us do, because that's totally fine. We had a lot of other stuff to talk about. I kind of did a long box. We
kind of did, yeah.
So I'm okay, like, holding off for another week so that we both have one. I think it's more of a fun segment if we both have something to talk about.
So you think this is your show now?
No, I'm saying
I know what you're saying.
As a family man, you don't have as much free time as I do.
Also, I want to.
So I'm good. Plus, that's enough content.
I want to say
ravenous fucks.
I want to say thanks to.
That's our fans, a bunch of ravenous fucks.
The Fandom Menace or the Fandom Initiative.
No, damn it.
No, the Fandom Initiative.
Yes.
For shouting us out.
That was one of the coolest online surprises I've gotten in a long time. When I was just scrolling along and I found...
You saw it on... Yeah.
You had told me about it already. You had told me the situation. You had sent me the direct message. Tell them all about it.
I want to say hi to the new subscribers. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you for checking us out.
Sorry, we hit the power. Lost the recording.
No, we were just rocking so hard on our commentary that we blew out the fucking system.
Okay. No, I reached out because they just started to do like spotlight stuff. So they reached out, and the Phantom Initiative stuff is just combating the grifters and bad faith people in on YouTube and things like that. It's just we're just trying to expose people that obviously are doing shit for clicks.
It's nice to know that there's other people out there that are doing what we're trying to do, and that we're not the only ones who had the idea to be like, God, I'm sick of watching these fucks.
Yeah.
So it's Phantom Initiative.
Yeah, it's there's a couple. The channels that are tied to it, Turf Nation or Actual Fandom, off panel, Organized Chaos.
But we do deserve way more views and way more subs.
Yeah. So who knows?
And we are chill.
We are cool guys.
Smell our own.
That was funny. Anyway, thanks so much for that, Tyler.
Dude, that was awesome. Really appreciate that.
Oh, now it's not connected.
Oh, son of a bee sting. You fuck. You fucks. Okay.
I think this is just we were talking about how we're professional.
Can't even get
Shit
the
like that
goddamn theme
happens.
song playing at the right time. What the fuck?
Did you see what happened at the Grammys?
Which one?
The Satanic Grammys with Sam Smith?
Yeah,
we were talking about that.
I thought it was awesome.
We were talking about that the other day, and it's like, they just do that to trigger you guys.
Yeah, and you remember Lil Nas X? Same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing a few years ago. It works every time. I said, hey, Satan's
What's in my
house.
brain? Everybody knows that I'm going insane. I said, hey, what's in my brain? I'm off topic, but I don't know the name. Oh, hey.
Crack cocaine.
Everybody likes to smoke that shit. I do. That's why
Stop the song there.
That's why you can't leave me alone in a big city for more than 48 hours.
You're gonna smoke some crack.
I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna smoke it. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.